And just like that, good to see everybody. Welcome back. Carolina Keith, regular Keith. I hate Keith. Oh, God, it's Keith again. Well, good to see you nonetheless. I hope everyone had an awesome week. Um, little by little, we've started to see what we were looking for, aren't we? We still haven't got exactly, in my opinion, what we necessarily want, but there are some promising signs on the horizon. I got a new camera angle, so bear with me here if you see me looking off to the left because I'm used to looking to the left to see everything. I don't have to look to the left no more. I redid the office, as you guys can see. Been posting pictures of it in Discord. Hope everyone likes it. Who cares? Let's get to the charts, shall we? And we shall. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. They are free here. While you're there, hit the notification bell and subscribe. Don't miss out, all right? Because if you miss out, hey, you miss out. And I don't want to see anybody miss out. I want to see everybody win here. Sorry, we're not crypto before dark. We're crypto after dark. There we go. That was from the Tuesday stream. Sorry. So, we've been watching pretty close here. And I've gotten to the point where I'm seeing things happen on some charts here that I'm really liking. You guys, if you haven't realized, I've tried to find a retrace here pre-having that I thought may or may not happen. And hey, look, it's finally showing up a little bit here. I was wondering how long it was going to take. You know what I mean? Didn't really know how long it was going to take. It was starting to eat at me a little bit. I'm like, man, what is taking so long here? This is killing me. Well, luckily, we've finally started to see some evidence of it. And let's talk about it now. So, this is the first time that Bitcoin has been under the 8 EMA, which is this green line right here. Like I said, first time that's been under this green 8 EMA in several candles since all the way at the beginning of February, which was darn near 14, 15 candles in a row. Pretty darn impressive and a hell of a run. I liken this a metaphor of a Jamaican sprinter. All right. If you guys don't know, Jamaican sprinters are some of the best sprinters in the world. Historically, in pretty much every Olympics, they put multiple guys going for the gold medal every single Olympics. All right. World renowned for their speed. This sprinted really, really fast, straight up in the air, multiple candles. It's hard to maintain that. I say this all the time, but I don't want to see charts just race in a straight line like that. I like to see them go up and have a retrace, go up and have a retrace. That's way more healthy than a sprint. All right. That sprint really, really wears out the system. And it's hard to maintain that way. Likewise, the longer it takes for this to happen, the more juice it uses up on a higher time frame. And you have to stop and breathe. And Jamaican sprinters, as fast as they are and as good as they are, and as much as they train, they still have to stop sprinting and they have to start walking, get something to drink, have a breather, that kind of stuff. Charts are no different. All right. The same psychology works for charts that works for sprinters. You can't just sprint that long. You need to breathe, relax. And finally, we're seeing a breath. Where to next? Well, we already know some of the rules, very simple, basic rules of some simple strategies here at 821 EMA, green, purple, 821, exponential moving average. Once you fail the 8 EMA, usually you head back to the 21 EMA, which is right there in purple. All right, that purple line right there, 21 exponential moving average, which is a moving average with a little bit of weight given to the front instead of the back. Not really matters what the technical of it is, just more so how we use it. In between the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA, we call this area right through here the wait a minute zone. Why do we call that the wait a minute zone? Well, guess what? There's nothing for you to do except sit and wait a minute. You can go ahead and take a trade here. Is it really worth it to you? Is the 2 or 3% worth it to you? Well, for most people, the answer is no. So, since it's not worth it to you, well, don't do anything. Just wait. Don't do anything. Wait a minute. Let the chart settle out and see what it wants to do. It's likely that Bitcoin comes back to this red fib line that you see right here. It's a terrible arrow. Gosh, guys. I'm a world-renowned bad arrow drawer. Dryer? What the hell is wrong with me? I said dryer. That's terrible. I'm a horrible arrow drawer. So if I back out on weekly, you can see that this is the overall big boy 786 fib here. That's about $50,000 flat. And it doesn't really matter whether I'm on linear or log. It's pretty much the same difference. It doesn't matter whether I'm on CME or regular Bitcoin on Coinbase. Doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same data in both directions. I don't want that to be that way, but it's kind of the way it plays out. So it looks like 50,000 for sure next. The bigger question is, what does that do to everything else? Hey, guys, guess what? When Bitcoin goes down, it drags everything with it, unless it's alt season. And guess what? It ain't alt season. So I know everybody doesn't want to hear that. It just ain't alt season yet. It will be later, but not yet. Likely we're not going to see any really, really volatile, humongous moves from altcoins until the summer. And I'll show you what I mean a little bit later, but kind of how I see Bitcoin regular chart for the moment. Let's go a little deeper. If I flip over to CME real quick, and I'll show you this. I do this in segments if you guys haven't noticed that yet. Hey, by the way, 51 people on, 22 likes. Go hit like. It's free. Costs nothing. Ding. If you don't hit the like, you hit the buzzer. Nobody likes buzzers. Don't be a buzzer. So if I go to CME, it's a little different here, yeah? You're still over top of the AEMA. Nothing's changed here. Still sitting pretty. Still sitting fine. The 786 is a little higher here. You're at about, what's actually pretty much identical, 49.9 to 50. But that's under the AEMA on the CME. And right now, it's still over it. So I want to say be careful here because there's not necessarily a ton of meat on the bone. If CME wants to pull back a little more, it's not going to necessarily rip roll it apart and destroy anything. As you see, it would still be sitting pretty on top of the AEMA. If it fails the AEMA and the 21 EMA, both. If it fails both of them, look, the 50 moving average is still right there, waiting for the price to get there. Just waiting for it. And if that happens, guess what? You're going to get a bounce and a roll. And I don't want to see that happen, but it's likely, right? What is the event that would say maybe that doesn't happen? Yeah. Well, I've been fishing around charts on these, seeing if I could find a different answer. So here we go. All right. So if I look at the cloud here, we know the cloud is kind of like the last one. You've slipped underneath the conversion line here on the cloud. Usually a sign that things are slowing down. All right. Whew, my nose is itching. You guys have been watching videos lately. No, my nose has been bothering the heck out of me. Matter of fact, hang on. Hang on a second. Let me take some nasal relief. Oh, my nose has been killing me lately. Sorry. If you know about the cloud, like I said, when you start filling the conversion line, usually that's a sign of a slowdown. And we've started to do that. Falling underneath that blue line right there is a first sign. Now, you are a metric ton of room away from this big valley right here on Bitcoin, where that void was left after this very aggressive move up. It's possible that this thing makes a move back toward this valley. I don't necessarily think that's a for sure thing because there's a lot of stuff in the way, but that does open up the door for a move down lower. How much? Well, I'm pressed. Like I said, I want to say 50,000 first. I think that makes sense. I think that's pretty much a lock. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an idiot on the internet. What are you following me for? But let's say she rolls back a little bit and goes sideways. Then what? Well, then we're likely to bump into the cloud over here somewhere, which means it's going to catch support because I had plenty of time to breathe. All right. Plenty of time to breathe and reset some indicators. Here's another interesting aspect. If I flip to weekly, which is what you guys saw on the thumbnail, and I pull up the RSI, here's what I want you to notice. Here's the last three markets, last two plus the one we're in now. All right, the last two bull cycles and bear cycles plus what we're doing now, 3 total. Here's the last top, which was, the 2016 top, which was right near halving. All right, then you had your 2020 top, which was a little earlier. Right. And then you got a really, really aggressive pullback because of that. and we got that pandemic fall. Note where after halving price went. After halving, RSI was right about the 50 line, which is pretty typical. If you know anything about the RSI, 50 to 40 is pretty much your action lines. When you get back to 50 or 40 on the RSI here, that tends to be an area where you look for a bounce. All right, so that was 2016. 2020, very similar. Look, right near 50 on the RSI. Not perfect, but near 50 on the RSI. Look how cooking hot this still is on the RSI over here. That's all the way back down here to get to that 50-ish area. That's a long way, isn't it? If that's the case, and Bitcoin is going to pull back that much, what does that do to altcoins, everybody? You already know the answer. That is an absolute assault on altcoins. So, do I think that's necessarily going to happen? That's really tough to say. Like, that's super tough to say. I guess it's possible, but I don't lean toward that happening yet because we don't have enough evidence of that yet. I'm beginning to think this kind of goes sideways for a little bit, and we maybe get one little stab to kind of hurt people a little bit, and that's it. I think the stage has kind of been set for a potential blow off top at the end of this bull market here. I don't want to count my chickens. You guys know I don't do that. I like to keep it real and not bullshit anybody. But for what it's worth, bringing in new buyers is never a bad thing. All right. And I think that's what ETFs will do more so than anything. Bring in those new buyers before the dumb money gets in, which is post all-time high. Yeah. So here's the MACD. Similar story. This is just absolutely screaming cooking hot, right? Highest it's been since the bull market. Can this keep up? Man, I'm pushed to say yeah, because you're looking way back here what happened last time. It tried to get going right before halving, but it had 2 drop downs. We haven't even had one yet. Not even one drop down yet on that MACD. Not even one time have they converged and rolled over and quit. That's why it leads me to think better not count our chickens too early. Man, 50,000 is a lock. If we fail 50,000, that opens up 44,000 to 45,000. And that's in log mode. If I flip it to linear, which is here, that opens up 48. So call it 48 to 45 if 50 fails. And that's hard to do right now because, like I said, you're kind of playing with fire here, trying to figure out which one's right and which one's wrong. Both linear and log hold merit here. But both kind of show a pullback, not up. All right, if I see both of them showing a pullback and neither one of them showing up, am I really expecting a bunch of movement upwards here? No. Any movement upward that we get here, I think, is a bit of a liquidity grab. I think you've pretty much nuked all the longs here. I'm sorry, all the shorts that you could. You nuked pretty much every short that there was. Now it's time to make the longs suffer a little bit. You don't get to have all that pleasure without some pain. We need to see that. In my opinion, we need to see that. We just haven't seen enough of it yet. Give it some time. I think we're going to see it come around. Let me go say hey to everybody real fast before I get to talking my head off. All right. Charts can't lie. Good to see you, brother. I'm definitely not going to talk about moon cycles because I don't believe in any of that good stuff. I think there's way simpler things to do things than try to find confluence with something that doesn't line up with anything else. Make sense? I hate to go adding confluence to things when it doesn't need to be there. There's plenty of other ways to do it that are easier and simpler and require less time. And for us adults, I think that's the best, safest thing to do. You know what I mean? Find the easiest, best, most simple thing, roll with it, and make the most out of it that we can. Vintage Pennies, good to see you, brother. Smoke, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Rob, what's up, Rob? Distinctive Shine, Jeremy Munro, Golden Tall Man, good to see you, my guy. Ryan Coburn, good to see you. I'm glad you're up. Jag, good to see you, Jag. We're working on some stuff in the background. Jeremy D, what's up? Miss Allie, how are you? Lunatic Prophet, good to see you. Phonetic Duck, my guy. Brother Bill. Colo, good to see you. What's up, Zay? Karan Kapoor, what's up, brother? Miss Kelly Slade, I'll try to stay awake this time. Thank you, ma'am. I saw you posted on Twitter, by the way, Kelly. I don't do Twitter anymore. That's my social media manager who does that. So I just get sent the stuff to go yes or no. That's pretty much it. I don't do anything else. Slutty Roo, good to see you, ma'am. Soda, what's up? Acre, what's up? John, good to see you, brother. I'm so happy Chuck Liddell's back in the spotlight. Freaking John. Chad, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Tex, Jeff Thomas. Vintage Pennies. Out of all of YouTube, the only person I hit like when, oh, thank you, brother. That's awesome. O'Leary, what's up? Good to see you. Justin Cleveland, Danny Deep Pockets, Dreamer, Apolara. All right, cool. So let's go through some more here. I want to hit total market cap in Ethereum, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. All right. So first, let's have a gander at total market cap. Again, a little bit of a leader here and not a follower. Total market cap's already at that fib line that Bitcoin isn't at yet. So that presses me and makes me ask, are we slowing down here or are we just going to go sideways? I think the table's being set for down, but I think we should be prepared for sideways. I did set some limit orders on a couple altcoins just to take a couple chances and get rebates. I've already gotten pretty darn good rebates on a few of them, and I don't want to miss them this time. So I'll take my rebate and be happy with it. I'm not getting a 90% rebate. I probably should just shut up and take the 30% or the 40% rebate, right? I think that's good enough for most people. And I think one of the rules that I should be following is just being happy with my gains and just chuckling about it. This is linear mode. If I flip to log mode, I want you to look at the difference here. You're in between the golden pocket fibs. This is 71. I'm sorry, that's 68. This is 0.618. So you got 0.618, 0.68, 0.71. 3 fib lines of the golden pocket. So you're fighting back and forth in between them. Now, since the conversion line has failed right here, and I know I've not zoomed way in, but hey, everybody, I got this big monitor in my face, so it's a little bit more difficult for me, but hang on. There you go, right there. You're failing the conversion line. You don't want to see that. That's a sign that things are slowing. Now that we're slowing, I assume that our next target now becomes this next fib set down here at 1.75 trillion. Now, again, that destroys altcoins if that happens. I don't think that's going to hurry up and happen, but I think it's possible. The problem is there's things in the way. Here you go. You're still over the 8 EMA here on this one. You haven't failed it yet. You're still not even close to the 21 EMA, which would hold water first. You'd get stuck in the wait a minute zone right here that I just talked about on Bitcoin. Yep. Also, the 50 moving average is slowly converging down here. If you see at the bottom of the screen right here, ever so slowly, she's creeping in there little by little, getting closer and closer. All right. We may just only get a touch on that 50-day moving average here. And it may not happen soon. It may happen later. It may happen over here closer to halving. It may not happen until after halving over here. Well, that's going to burn, isn't it? I say this a lot, but I would rather be early than late. All right. I don't know. What's up with the audio? I don't know. I'm not hearing any clicks and pops. Of course, I don't have my headphones on either. I don't know. Let me know if it keeps up. I'll tinker with the audio if I can, because I just got all the video like set up perfect. Whack. Audio wants to start tripping, dude. So maybe you're hearing the mouse. I don't know. Anyway, I'm kind of curious that this stuff happens later. And if it happens later, I want to be early rather than late. We say that all the time. I'd rather be early to the party than show up late and miss it. All right. If that means I sold a little early, that's okay. If that means I bought a little early, well, that's something I'm going to have to learn to deal with because I kind of suck at buying early. I usually buy a little bit late. I don't know. I'm a little pressed on it. I don't want to get cute and greedy with it, but at the same time, I'm realizing that some of these I can just kind of buy and I'll be all right if I just quit worrying about it so much. For me, I'm wanting to milk every bit of blood out of the turnip that I can. Probably isn't always the best idea. I know that, but for me, it feels like the right thing to do. I realize everyone's staring at me, watching me, what I'm doing and seeing what I'm doing and kind of focusing in and hawking in. And that's kind of hard to deal with sometimes, but that breaks of the game. You know what I mean? Part of the deal. You got to learn to deal with it. Again, still would rather be early than late. See, some are saying the audio is good and some are saying the audio is bad. That's interesting. Either way, after this, I'll go on Zoom and then we'll see if it's still doing it on Zoom. You know what I mean? It's weird that I don't hear it. So here's total 2. Very similar situation. Look how much higher up a fib line is here for alts. That was a terrible arrow. There you go. That's squiggly, but still an arrow. Again, I'm not necessarily seeing all I want to see here, but I don't hate it. You know what I mean? It looks like this is going to end up failing and going to the wait a minute zone to me. And it looks like alts or everything except Bitcoin is probably going to hit that 50-day moving average for sure. Now, I've had my heart broken a couple times already, so let's keep our eye open because there's a solid possibility it just bumps that 21 moving average or 21 EMA and rolls right back up. Here's total 3, which is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, so look how we just broke through this big trend line right here. All right, watch and see, but I bet you this thing is failing the 8 EMA right now. You can see that. I bet you we bounce the 21 EMA here a little bit and roll right over here toward this 50. Now, the question remains, when we hit this 50-day moving average, do we push through it? Or do we just roll sideways? Better yet, do we come and settle on top of this trend line? Something like that. Well, that's my question. That's what I want to know, because that would be optimal to me. Now, I haven't sold everything. I only sold a little bit of stuff, and I actually ended up buying some things yesterday because they gave me some really good discounts. I don't see a ton of stuff that's absolutely pouring out its heart and soul and saying, sell to me, except a few. And let's go over those in a moment. Audio is good on the MacBook. Said audio's, so you're getting a crackle too. Weird. Oh, you know what? My audio machine's locked up a little bit, so that might be what it is. So whatever. I'll work on that later tomorrow. Dude, I got a long day tomorrow. There's no way I'll work on it tomorrow. As simple as that. I'll just work on it tomorrow. Now let's look at a couple, like I was saying, that kind of laid over and played a little bit dead for me. I was hoping it would happen. But let's start with ICP. So this one's been a bit depressing for me. All of my sales are right in through here. All right. I've not got it pulled up. Clicked on the wrong thing. Let me pull it up now. Here you go. Those are my sales right here. These 3 dashed red lines up here. And I'm going to go to this other ICP chart that's a little bit cleaner so we can chart it a little easier, all right? Because I realize it's a jumbled mess. So we have failed the 821 EMA finally. I'm going to sneeze. Ooh, I got a sneeze building up. I can feel it. Didn't come out yet. It'll do it in a second. 821 EMA crossed downward. I don't like that. Again, I was hoping for a retrace, so it's good for me, but it shows down on the chart. Look at the way that the 8 EMA is starting. I'm sorry, the 50 EMA, the 50 moving average, the yellow line, is starting to bend over and roll down. Very interesting. We haven't seen that from a lot of charts, but ICP is one of them that's doing it now. It's pushing so fast downward here that it's pushing the 50 EMA with it, which doesn't happen a ton. And that was a very rapid move with a very rapid down. Kind of tells me that it's just playing ping pong now and I should wait it out. So where do I think this is going? This looked like it's going to fail the 50-day moving average to me. And it looks like it's going to work its way over here to the 100 sometime in March. I'm curious if it just bounces this trend line right here and the 100-day moving average at the same time, which I guess is probably likely. And that's going to suck and burn for a little bit, but whatever. I was hoping to get a bigger discount, which I also think is possible here because 236 retraces, which would be if it failed the 50-day moving average and hit the 100, that would come out to about $10.90. Now, that's a extremely bullish retrace. Rare, in fact. So I went looking and said, hey, what else can we find here? Typically, we get 382 retraces and 50% retraces and 618 retraces. Look how far down that is, yeah? So I went to the weekly and I said, hey, give me some data here. Show me something. What am I missing? Here's the weekly RSI. Could this turn back up and do what Bitcoin did? It could. Is it Bitcoin? No, it's not. Okay? It's not. Look at this MACD. Screaming high, ton of divergence, falling by volume. It looks like it's starting to converge a little bit to me and roll over. Good. It needed to do this. Waiting to see it. Another interesting aspect. Oh, I drew on the chart, didn't mean to. There we go. Look at the 50-week and 100-week moving averages about to cross. Folks, this is a tits cross. This is what happens when moving averages cross. We tend to get slowdowns and pullbacks that go toward the crossing. All right? There's a possibility that ICP absolutely lays the bed here and comes back to support, which I've also drawn on the chart right here with that green line. All right? Right here's a support line. The closest support, in fact, let me do that. The closest support on ICP all the way back at roughly $9. Now, from where I sold to where that would go, 25% rebate, pretty darn good. Should I get super greedy and push it? Well, I already tried that one time and ended up burning myself. Now, I'll be the first to admit that this is an ugly looking weekly pattern right here, and this should pull back very aggressively and give us some good rebates. I said that before, and it threw this big screw you green hammer candle right here and shot up 3.5 more weeks straight again. I don't want to see that. So I'd rather play it a little safe here and take my rebate when I get it and be happy about it. I'll reassess as we go along, obviously. But I think over the next couple weeks, we're actually going to get those rebates that we were expecting. This weekly AEMA ain't going to fail easy. All right. It's liable to hold on to this for a little bit, which makes me think this drags its feet all the way until summer. Not a guarantee, but it's possible that ICP and all the other altcoins can drag their feet all spring, all the way to the end of spring, and work their way down before they pop up in the summertime. Don't tell me it's not possible, because I know it is. Let me pull up this one, and you can see our big high time frame Fibonacci lines in this green box right here. Is that also that same support box? Do you see that? That's the same line I just showed you a moment ago. So our high time frame Fibonacci lines are at $10.50. Remember I said a minute ago $10.90? So 1050 to 1090 just makes sense. And for a higher time frame move, that might be all the rebate we get, and that might not be any more past that. So when we get there, I'm gonna have to make a tough decision. Do I go ahead and rebuy, take my rebate and be happy with it? Do I wait it out, run for a support? Do I watch it fail farther and roll way back down? Man, tough calls for me to make. I'll have to make them. I'll do my best to get to them as I can. Tough decisions to make ahead, yeah? This is the game that we play, so it's part of it. You got to be willing to be fluid. I'm trying to be as fluid as I can, all right? So, on that note, if you haven't done so, please go check us out. wap.com/team786. It's very easy. That's our private Discord. We do this 24/7, 365 nonstop. All across the world, people are in our Discord, posting charts, keeping it on the regular, all right? Everyone's watching. Everyone's prepared. What are you waiting on? It's cheap. You even get 30 days for free. It costs 2 Starbucks coffees. That's it. 2 Starbucks coffees. It's not that much to ask, right? Plus, you remove all the children from the chat. It's adults. You get along great. We do a lot of good things. We encourage people to ask questions, post charts, share data. You'll be amazed how much better you'll do. WAP.com/team786. It closes at halving, so get in while you can. Don't complain when the doors close. All right, let me answer some questions over here. Let's see. Audio is good on my MacBook. Good. Hey, what's up, Geek with a Gun? Miss Ariana. Good to see you. Zay. All right. I'm not sure we'll be able to. We don't do a lot of chart requests anymore on the live stream. We do them all in our Discord. We do that on Tuesday streams, though. If you want to come hang out in the Discord, we'll pull up a ton of different charts on Discord in our Discord streams. That's what they're there for. What we learned was basically people are just coming on here and saying, hey, Keith, show me what to do. And then I say something and then they go do it and then they try to sue me. And I can't do that anymore. All right. Let's see. I wonder if File would do the same as ICP. It's a good question because Filecoin recently made a really, really big move, right? And if we're comparing the two, that's a good comparison to make. Now, it's a little different. Oh, didn't mean to draw that. Sorry. It's a little different because the charts aren't quite the same. ICP pretty much was all down for its entire history. Doesn't have as much resistance and has a lot of gains. And that was the reason that I picked it when I did. So Filecoin just recently broke through that weekly 236 where ICP ran all the way to the 382, which is almost another 65, 70% gains from where we're at now. Is that possible? Yeah, right? But the problem becomes, what's it going to be able to take to get that to happen? Well, we're going to have Bitcoin bring it up because it can't do that by itself, you would think, right? So that makes it a tough call. Good news is it recently broke through that resistance, and you could argue that it's making a rounded bottom. You could argue that it's making a cup and handle, whatever. It's all bullish because it's coming off the bottom, right? If we put some moving averages in here, look where this weekly 200 is. Way up there. Oh my goodness. Yes, please. That's $25. That's another 300% from where we're at. I'll take it. So I don't really think I want to bother even messing with this too much. You know what I mean? I don't think I want to poke the bear. I think I'm good just leaving it be here and letting it have its time, letting it have a rip. The minuscule down may not be worth the effort of trying to swing it back and forth. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Roger? Good to see you, brother. Paulo, what's up? Thank you, Danny Deep Pockets. Whop that like button. You're stupid, Terry. That's pretty good. Yo, Ray, what's up, brother? Good to see you. When BTC grinds sideways, often BTC dominance goes down. Yes, but I need you to understand BTC dominance is just simply a reflection of how much money is in Bitcoin compared to everything else. All right. So Bitcoin dominance is grip over the market. Right now, it's 53% of the entire market is just Bitcoin. We tend to see that at halving and after halving, that goes down. Why is that? Well, once you milk the turnip for all the blood you can get out of it, you tend to see a rollback. And right here is halving. Back here is the previous halving before that. Okay, good. What's basically happening here is other coins are taking the money away from Bitcoin. And while Bitcoin still has a bunch of money going into it, relative to everything else, it starts to lose money. It fell all the way to 38% last time. I expect it to go to at least 40 this time. Possibly farther, we'll see. No guarantees of that, right? We also have to understand that may have been an exaggerated fall back there. I don't know yet. We'll get there when we get there. We'll figure that out when we figure that out. I want to know what happens here at halving. If it pushes up and drives this back up here past this to 618 or 786, I'm hella curious if that happens because these fibs back here actually cut off a little early. I just stopped them at halving. But this thing continued to run afterwards. And I think if you factor in the pandemic, it may have caused an issue there. We'll see, right? I hate to be all in on altcoins if Bitcoin's going to run the show for a while. And I think it's realistic to understand that may happen. Everybody, go hit like real quick. 77 people on, 47 people have hit like. Go hit like, man. It's free. Costs nothing. Ding. All right. So Bitcoin dominance was a good point to bring up, though, because it's still holding on to this trend line, but it's also trapped under that 50 fib. Tough spot for it. Bouncing around playing ping pong here. The last several weeks, it is on top of all the moving averages. It's got a lot to fail to cut through that, okay? It's very sloppy and messy looking. So probably need to sit back and watch the show here for a little bit and not try to tickle too much of the tiger here, because it turns around and bites. I don't want to take it too far. So Zay, good question. He says, when BTC dominance goes down, altcoins gain strength. ABT coin seems to be running while dominance is high. Wonder what's going to happen after the halving. So Bitcoin dominance, again, is a reflection of power over the market. If Bitcoin dominance is going down, that could be altcoins are going up, or it could be it's just losing money slower than the rest of them that are falling faster, which is what's happened over the last couple of days. You've seen Bitcoin dominance go down over the last couple of days, and altcoins go twice as fast. Okay? Pretty normal for that to happen. See, I think everyone gets kind of wound up on trying to come up with an amazing formula. It's kind of tough. We should just use Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, as a relative feel for how much strength Bitcoin's got over the market and what it's doing to everything else. Because we have altcoins we can check dominance charts on too, like others.d, which is everything except the top 10. And as you see, while it has broken the trend line here, she's also rolling over, right? It's actually rolling over just as fast as Bitcoin dominance is. We can also check individual ones like Ethereum dominance, which is on the rise. Why is that? Well, it's been lagging behind Bitcoin for quite a while. So about time. We just talked about ICP. Here's ICP dominance. Look at that thing trapped under the 236 fib. I should have saw this, but I missed it, right? That's why I don't like missing stuff, because I feel like if I had known this, and it's on me missing it, nobody's fault. If I had known this, I would have got out of ICP and stayed out of ICP at that point, because that was kind of the point where it stopped having a grip over the market and started losing strength to the rest of the market. My sneeze is coming. There we go. Goodness, got another one. Man, allergies blowing my mind right now. So I lean toward things slowing down and running back to support. Using dominance as a source of that, that's kind of tough to do. Now, someone else talked about ETH and other stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, let's do ETH PTC. That's a good one. So ETH versus Bitcoin, right? This fight's been going back and forth for a couple weeks. Now, recently, Bitcoin tailed it back off and pushed back against Ethereum, but Ethereum's been hanging on to this same level, this big weekly 236 level on the overall massive ETH Bitcoin chart. You see that? It's never let go of these levels. Since April 21, Ethereum hasn't let go. And that's partially because, Ethereum's gaining market cap against Bitcoin, because what was all Bitcoin's money has started going everywhere else. I'll say this, watch out though, because you're still technically under the trend right there. Got that? That's ETH versus Bitcoin on the weekly. You are on support, but you're under trend. So, tough call, but both of these may fall down. If we see this go up, that doesn't necessarily mean that Ethereum's price is going up. It just means it may not be falling as fast as Bitcoin. They could both be going down. Make sense? I only use this when I want to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum or from Ethereum to Bitcoin. There's really no other purpose for it for me. And also when I want to know a coin versus Bitcoin, like maybe is Bitcoin going to take back over, or is that coin doing better than Bitcoin? So let's do ICP Bitcoin, right? Here you go. Same story. Same story. What's it doing? Oh, didn't mean to draw. Sorry. Same story. You're losing your support line there. Looks like she's rolling down and playing dead. Heading back to that 150s flat. It looks like this is going to just trim sideways with Bitcoin and Ethereum here and do a much ado about nothing. It could fail farther than that and go even faster down and run back to this 50 down here. And if it does that, oh boy, the discounts. All right. So use this in concert with. I don't want anyone to ever get hung up on like, hey, just this chart is the way. There's so much data that we should analyze it all. What's up? China Matt. A BTC, bottom of BTC flag, almost around trillion. Yep. And it's still going. Crazy, isn't it? $1 trillion, dude. Yeah, I don't, let's see. Can you share ideas on how to better learning timing moves? What are your thoughts on charting others for it and using the fib triggers? So I think you're kind of overdoing it. I think the best way to do it is if you know we're in an uptrend like we're coming up on, then you can pull a fib on it and look for an entry level at the 50 and the 618. If those don't work, 786 is your last shot, and you're going to set a stop loss underneath that, because if it breaks 786, you're a failure and going farther. That's the best way to time it perfectly. Aside from that, simply waiting on basic trend breaks and not overthinking it. I think everybody's trying to get super, super complicated with some stuff lately, and it's not necessarily needed. For instance, ICP versus Bitcoin here, and I'll use this as an example because I don't really trade this pair, but it's a good example. So I have a clear downtrend. I think that's obvious. All right. So we could just basically wait for the downtrend to end before we buy. So this thing could hypothetically come to the 100 moving average, which looks like what it's going to do. Once it hits the 100 moving average, those are rolling support and resistance. I could take a chance there. Could take a chance there. Calculated risk, up to you. Worth a shot, again, up to you. I'll take a buy there. Try it. If that doesn't work, she's heading down even lower. And again, basic support and resistance. You pull on the chart here and go, hey, look, we got some more right through here. So if it fails at 100, then maybe down here I'll take a chance. Now that's two chances I've taken and not one. So how about we just wait for it to cross this trend line over here and then buy? Simple enough? Simple enough. We can use the basic 821 EMA. Instead of getting super fancy with everything, we could just pull up the old 821. Since we know we're in a bullish uptrend, soon we're only going to be going up. You can find a spot with this 821 EMA here. As soon as you get your basic rules, your basic 2 candles over the 8, and then 821 cross, you got what you need. You're good to go. You're good to go. There you go. See, you don't have it right now. You're actually dead opposite of that. So this in concert with the fibs is mostly how I like to do it. Why is that? Well, it's simple, it's smooth, it's easy, and it works well. I hate like super overcomplicating things. It's just not necessary. We can do it so much easier and simpler. The whole throwing in 5,000 indicators and lining it up with this and this, man, it's so much effort for such little gain. I really hate for people to spend that much time and then get tired of doing it and then quit, because that happens a lot. I don't want to see people quit and, walk away because it was too much effort. I get all you guys have jobs and lives and work and kids. It's hard to spend all the time. I know this, right? I understand. I say this a lot, but you really can't make too many excuses. You got to like buckle down and get after it. And I know that sounds really, really, really mean. But I was talking to another guy in the DMs today and I said the same thing, He says, I don't have time to do this. No, you haven't made time to do this. There's a difference. All right. I don't have time and I haven't made time. For what it's worth, you have time. You just don't want to use it. You just don't want to do it. You don't want to use your time for this. You would rather fish the internet for stuff, or you'd scroll through Twitter or TikTok or Reddit or Instagram. I don't do that. I chart. And when I'm not charting, I'm talking to you guys who are charting. And when y'all aren't charting, someone else is charting. So I look at more charts. The drums are behind me now, so I can de-stress a little bit because that's my de-stress. But I mean, I spent 60 hours a week at a regular job, plus charted nonstop, plus had the Discord, plus traded, plus did live stream prep, making thumbnails, made NFTs, went on other live streams, did show prep. You guys have any idea what goes into show prep? Oh my God. There's a lot going on over here, right? I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anyone else. What I'm trying to say is you can't make excuses. You just have to put in the work. It's as simple as that. Put in the work. Don't make any more excuses. Don't be that guy. Don't be what you're irritated that your kids do. Don't. Be better than me. I'm just a guy. All right? I'm just reading charts out loud. Y'all are doing the same thing to yourself. You're just not live streaming it in front of the world for everybody to see, right? So know that you can do it. You simply have to put in the effort. It's not easy. I know. I understand. Buckle down and get after it. You want to change your life. You want to have better things, and you want to get rid of your 9-to-5. You want to be your own boss. You want to pay off your house. You want to put your kids through college. You didn't think anyone was going to give it to you, did you? No. Yes, you can get lucky and be a degenerate. Dude, come on. In realistic worlds, does that happen? No. You're going to see it on Twitter, and that's going to be a popular thread because someone on Twitter said, come on. 1 out of 1,000,000 do that. Grow up. Right? We can do better. We can buckle down and get it right. And when you're not doing crypto, you can do stocks, bonds, and equities. Forex too. Same stuff. All right. Same stuff. Sorry to go on a tangent. Thank you, Mateo. If it means enough to you, you will put the time in. If it doesn't mean enough to you and you're not serious about it, you're wasting your time and my time. Now it's your fault. Okay. What's up, Bullish CEO? Good to see you, brother. Beating to de-stress. Noted. Stupid John. 500 billion washed out is crazy to think. Whatever it takes, that's execute disorder. I'm sorry. I read at a 10th grade level, everybody. I'm sorry. Whatever it takes, that executive disorder has to be championed somehow. My future depends on it. Absolutely. Guys, it's me over here and nobody else. It's just me. Her dad is getting old. All right. Mine's gone. My mom can barely move. Her mom's got macular degeneration and can barely see. It's just me. I'm it. There's nobody else. I am the safety net. So it's buckle down and do this or lose. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Man up. Suck it up and deal with it, dude. I'm sorry. There's no other answer. Really cool thing today. Andrew put it in the Discord for everyone to see. It was his notes from 2019 when he was going through the Holy Grail, trying to learn how to chart better, right? We had both already been Forexing and goofing off, trying to learn, watching videos online. We'd both already bought crypto because we thought we were going to be rich, yeah? We wanted to get better. We were trying our best. So we put our nose in the books and went after it. Andrew wrote down notes. I wrote down notes. I have them in a yellow legal pad right over here on the shelf where you can't see right now because I got the camera pointed just so you can't see it because it's a bookshelf and it's ugly. But interestingly enough, we spent time learning. We busted our ass on it, dude. And we got way better. So better at it that other people started kicking us out of places because they didn't want people stealing the show. And now here we are. 10,000 people subscribe, 16,500 people on Twitter, 5,700 people in Discord. Say what? You're messing in my head right now, dude. This is insane. Good news is at least 78 of you are here watching tonight and prepared to do more than everyone else. When it comes down to it, who's going to do more than everyone else? And the answer is you will. Now, here's Ethereum. So, cool enough. We've rolled over here just a little bit, but it's still sitting on support. Don't be fooled. This thing has been running hot, but it's only catching up to Bitcoin. Look here. Bitcoin was way up here at this 786 level. Ethereum ain't even there yet. It's still down here in the golden pocket. Do you see that? That's crazy, yeah? As much as Ethereum has done recently, it's still behind Bitcoin, still sucking hind tit. And if Bitcoin comes down, it's likely that Ethereum does it with it, right? Ethereum dominance is great. Sorry, but it's likely Bitcoin pulls everything down with it. And since we haven't had any pullbacks, again, it makes it feel likely to me. But for the time being, you don't have a sell signal yet, right? No, there's never a bad day to take profits. I'm not going to tell you not to take profits. Every day is a good day to take profits, but you know, some of these just ain't ready to sell off yet. Some of them are, some of them ain't. Here's AVAX, which is another example of what I was saying about, you know, some of these look better and worse than others. I need to find a better AVAX chart. Binance. There we go. There we are. All right, here's Binance on the weekly. It looks like we're just now giving up a little bit of juice. Not much. Still sitting on the weekly AEMA, just like ICP was. Hate to be that guy who misses a chance. This one's ran really, really well. And because of that, I looked at the other indicators thinking maybe I'm going to find something. Look at this MACD. What does that look like it's doing to y'all? It looks like that's converging and pointing downward to me, not upward. This thing has a country mile to fall if it starts. So you better be dang careful. All right. Same thing with the RSI here on AVAX. Look, this thing was screaming hot and she's finally cooled off. Question is how far? Daily. Hey, look, we just failed the 821 EMA and just getting a downward cross now. You know what that means, right? That means at least take half. For me, that means at least take half. Put the 50 and the 100 up there. Look at here. She's just cruising along now with the 50 and the 100 bunching up. It's likely that this thing sits up here. If it wants to get real saucy and fall underneath, then we're pointing toward the 200. Which is not even on the screen yet. Way down there at $22. I think that's unlikely. I think all of you understand that's probably unlikely. But if it fails this 50-100 and gets underneath it, it's highly possible that we get to $25, which would make a lot of people happy in the, oh my God, I'm an AVAX lover. I've got to go buy AVAX world, wasn't it? I sold my AVAX. Here's my sale lines. Right here on the left. Put it on the daily. And we're just flirting around with where I sold. Right there. 4 different take profit lines. Yeah, I sold 3 of these earlier. Then I rebought and resold because I thought I was going to get it. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So now she's kind of rolling back to where it was, which is good. That means I could just buy back in where I was and be happy about it. But you guys know me. I got to poke the bull. So this has had several days of red in a row. It's still not oversold. Look on the daily. She's just flirting around with the action lines. It ain't even oversold yet. So, let's see. Thanks, Dad. Hit like for AI to ruin us all in the near future. Yeah, bro. Hit like for AI to ruin us all in the near future. Thank you, John. Hey, look, Chad, that's awesome. He said, Keith changed my whole mindset in crypto. Been profitable for almost 6 months. Good shit, brother. Good stuff. Sorry. Good to see you. Terry, what's up, brother? Yo, yo, yo. Oh, Terry. Mr. My Cali brother. All right, so we'll do a couple more here. Arbitrum. Let me pull up a cleaner chart. Furians. That's a southern saying. That means for you guys. We say y'all, but you know, we wouldn't expect y'all to get that. Spec means expect. All right. So here's the weekly. Similar story to what I was seeing on these other ones. Yeah, look, you've got a double top, a clear double top here on Arbitrum. The question is, how far down does it go and how much time does it have to do it? So it's pushing the 8 EMA really hard right now in the weekly. It looks pretty darn likely this comes to this 21 here to me, which is at about $1.50. That's also about where support is. Do you see that? Okay, cool. So it's possible that it pulls back to support. Interesting. Let's go look and find out where exactly that would be with fibs. If I grab the overall bottom and the overall top, swing low, swing high right here. Recent swing low, swing high. See that? If I grab both those with a fib, this was an uptrend. It is failing, so I'm pulling up. It was an uptrend. It's failing. I'm pulling up. From the bottom to the top. Swing low, swing high. Now, we've failed this 236 fib on log mode. And 382 fib is what? $1.56. Right about where I said that the 21 EMA was on the weekly, yeah? It's highly possible that Arbitrum rolls back to that point. Now, this is in a log mode. If I flip it over to linear mode, you see something a little different. I got to drag it even farther, and these fibs go all the way out till September, which I'm not sure I believe. So, we're just now failing the 382 right here at $1.79. That's $1.59 at the 50 fib here. If this thing fails more, that's likely the point of order around $1.59 to $1.55. Makes sense? That's how I'm coming up with some of these conclusions. $1.55, $1.56 roughly, $1.59, $1.60. So anywhere in that 5-cent range when it gets there is go time. For me, I can't turn it down at that point. Again, I'll show you my sell lines here. These are all my sell lines over here. Like you can see, I'm in the profit on all these. Sold them and now going to rebuy them. For me, I'm hitting a home run right now. So I've already sold them and I can buy them back I can buy back more for the same money. I get more tokens for the same money. Make sense? Cool. I knew you'd understand. So that's what I'm looking to do with Arbitrum. That's what I'm looking to do with a lot of these. All right. So we don't have much time left. We've only got about a minute and some change left. So I've had some time to reflect on all this stuff, you know, and I can see myself stressing out a little bit too much about some of this stuff. So what I'm going to try to do is take it a little easier and just share a bunch of charts in general over and over and over again. I feel like if I share a bunch of charts over and over and over again, that helps me just get lost in the price action, just get lost in what I'm doing and not stress so much about, did I buy it? Did I sell it? Did I swing it back and forth? Was it important? I don't think that's necessary for me to do. And I want to encourage everyone else to find your balance point. Okay. Find your sweet spot in there. All right. Some greed is good. Too much greed, you lose. Some fear is good. Too much fear, you lose. All right. Balance that out for yourself. I know it's a lot of work. I promise you I understand. It's a lot of work. You're not alone. I'm right here with you in the same boat. Okay. So let's do it together. Let's work hard. Let's complete this task. I think we can do it. WAP.com/team786. See you guys there. Thank you all for watching. I'll leave you with this. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. That means have a better day than you had yesterday. Thank you all for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. I appreciate the hell out of that. And sky's the limit. Y'all be good. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all on the next stream. Peace.